Obviously, our regulation defines pesticides as any substance or any mixture of substance that is prepared, rotulated, designated, announced, and have the capacity to destroy, kill, or do anything to any pests. So that's the law definition of what a pesticide is. That's our law regulation definition of what a certified applicator is. And it has any person who purchases, uses, supervise the use of any restricted use pesticide. Commercial applicators, quite simple. That includes our regulation has our law. Includes any government agency that applies any pesticide must be a certified applicator. So it doesn't matter if it uses a restricted or a general use pesticide. Any government employee must be a certified applicator. The law prohibits the introduction to the island, the use, the storage, distribution, sale, offer, receive, handout, and recently the use also of any pesticide that is not registered with the Department of Agriculture. And obviously it's on the label, it prohibits any use of any pesticide inconsistent with this label requirements. Article 4 gives the faculty to the Secretary of Agriculture to establish any regulation or any requirements to protect the environment and so forth, so on. Article 5, it's about the Secretary of Agriculture has the authority to make any requirements in the island for use of any pesticide, doesn't matter. With that article, the Secretary of Agriculture revise every 5 years the list of all the restricted use pesticides that are the island are considered, all the active ingredients that are on the island are considered to be restricted use pesticides. So you might, in the United States, you might find some active ingredients that are general use, but probably in the island may be restricted for the cause of any harm that may be produced to the environment or to the workers or any other. So the Secretary has the power to restrict that product, and it's under our law that he can do it. Going backwards. Obviously, the Secretary has the authority to coordinate, supervise any program to determine if it's effective, endangered, the use is effective for any pests, and to protect the environment and the humans. That's the regulation, the articles. We already went over the law. I want to stop. I want to stop here. I'm going to go through this one because our investigation with methyl bromide, our biggest violation was record keeping. Everybody knows that the Puerto Rico regulation requires to keep records of any pesticide use. Doesn't matter if it's restricted or if it's general use pesticide. All pesticide application must have a record. Any commercial applicator or any pesticide user must keep a record of their application, and that record must be kept for at least 2 years. And is subject to any inspection, and any inspector of the Puerto Rico Department of Agriculture may require. It must be available upon request. And these are the requirements for that record. Our regulation, what we did, not mostly 31B records are for the non-agricultural use pesticides. So these are the requirements. And the requirements for the agricultural use pesticides, what we did was that we wrapped up on our record keeping all the USDA requirements and all of the WBS requirements. They're all on the same record keeping form. So if any of you want to go to the agriculture section, then you have to keep that record instead of this one. Because I'm not going through that one because it's not. There's no one here that does agriculture use pesticide applications. So this is the one that everybody here wants to keep, and must have the name of the certified applicator, and it's going to be awkward to say that we found some that they don't. So name, certification number, name of the pesticide, EPA rec number, active ingredient, what type of pesticide is, for what it's going to be used, which is the application rate used on that application, how much of the pesticide you used, the application method, date and place of the application, and any procedure established of how are you going to manage the leftovers of that dilution. All that must be on an application record. If you don't keep it that way, you'll be in violation with the Puerto Rico regulation. And as I repeat, this was the most common violation we found on the methyl bromide investigation that we did recently. As part of the investigation went on, I'm sorry, I'm a hyper guy and I just can't stand behind there. I need to move. So as part of when the investigation of methyl bromide came out, we found out that we needed to regulate more this type of application. So the Secretary of Agriculture made an administrative order, and on that order it was made to establish the procedures to make notification and enforcement of any entity license that sells methyl bromide in the island. Did I make myself clear? Because I think I made a very roughly Spanish English translation on that one. What it means that anybody who's going to be using methyl bromide or selling methyl bromide, it's under this administrative order. So it says that nobody natural from Puerto Rico or that has been designated as a U.S. citizen or have a proof of U.S. citizen accomplishment will be exempt from this regulation, so everybody's on it. It says that on notification, they have to be notified to the Puerto Rico Department of Agriculture within the 36 hours before the application was made. It's going to be made. So you have to be notified the Puerto Rico Department of Agriculture of any methyl bromide application within 36 hours of the application. We know that USDA has this requirement of notifying things the same day. So what we did is we made the form digitalized so you can present it to us within the 24 hours of the application. Any USDA application that is between 24 hours, we receive it through the email and we respond the same day. Those who are already on the program, that there are several users, the mostly of the time we do answer in an hour. And there's only 2 persons in the island who does that evaluation certification. One is Omar, who is down here. He's on the, and the other one is me. Yeah, it's the form is made. There's a regulation on the state that must be an agronomist who does that certification, the evaluation of the form and the certification. So that's. Omar and I are the only ones on the Department of Agriculture who will be issuing that. And you must be a certified applicator. And you must fill the form, and the form is this one. It's easy to fill out, and if you have your record keeping, it's quite the same as most of the application requirements, but you need to use, you fill out the blanks easily if you have any questions.
Could you clarify that for the 100 review?
Any methyl bromide application, whether it's a quarantine one or is only for right on the islands, methyl bromide 100 is the only non-quarantine product used. No, only to methyl bromide. But we're speaking with the community of distributor, which right now is only one, Jackie. And we might request to the Secretary of Agriculture that it becomes for every fumigant, which we don't have many also, so. That's the form. Anyone who doesn't have it may talk to me or email, and I'll email them to them. We do the whole administrative order and the form. It is on Excel with protected, it has the protected fields, so you don't mess up with it. And if you need another copy, we'll send it back again. So you can fill it out and email it to us, and when you receive your stamp form, email also. So you don't have to go to Dorado, to our offices to receive authorization to use methylbromide in the island. And one of the things is there's an agreement with Jackie that she's not going to sell a methylbromide cylinder if you don't come with a form authorized. So whether once you buy your 100 or 50 pounds of your product, you must make sure you keep them, because we're making a database on the office, and that's going to be restricted, and then that's going to be reviewed. So you must, if you have 15 pounds, you need to have all the records for those 15 pounds. There's other regulations in the island DOT, which requires the vehicle to be regulated, and Puerto Rico OSHA that will be requiring that anyone who uses a respiratory mask, in this case methylbromide requires SCBA, so they must be on the respiratory protection program with PROSHA, and the mask has to be certified for your use. Those are for your employees. The Environmental Quality Board, which regulates in the island any storage of any dangerous substance, and any emergency happens, they are the first responders in the island. So you must. There's some requirements of how to store the pesticides, and if any emergency happens, you have to notify them. They are the first responder of any emergency, of any and any dangerous substance that any situation that happens with it. Don't call us, because we have to call them. We are not first responders. 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 Responders.